Welcome to EM32 diploma. My name is Daniel Mbangula, and I will take you through this program on what you're supposed to do and the aspect that can help you to pass the program. There are my contact details there that you can contact me should you have any query, if something is not clear during the course of your preparation for your exam. My presentation will be done as follows. I will discuss the following items: common terms used in examinations that can confuse you sometime, because you know when you come to examination sometimes you have a lot of anxieties and some terms can end up confusing you. But don't worry, at the end of this presentation everything will be easier for you. Exam preparation tips, that's another aspect I will touch. Furthermore, course learning outcomes that you need to focus on. Example of exam question papers, if time allows. The common terms used in examination. These are words that we normally use when we are examining you, so that you know what to do and how far you must argue when you are writing. The first common one is define, which is just requires you to give a precise or brief meaning of something, often referring to etymological root of concept, or indicate what features are included and excluded. So this is when you are just defining common terms that are used in your module. Describe. This one is where we have a problem, because when you are asked to describe, you have to give a detailed features of an issues or stage of processes in logical sequence, using numbers and headings and proper way of arguing, so that you give pros and cons of a certain aspect that you are asked in examination. But at times you are asked to describe and you find somebody just explaining. The following, the next term is also more or less similar to the previous one. Discuss. To discuss, you have to give clear descriptions and then argue about features by pointing out positive and negative features, arriving at a conclusion. So in the other way, when you are discussing, you have to give a detailed description where you have to look at either positive and negative, or advantage and disadvantage of the thing that you are describing, so that if somebody's reading your answer, he is left with more answer than the questions. Outline. Give an overview of and indicate the main features of something in a conscious and systematic manner. Then we are moving to exam preparation tips. In most cases, students panic when it comes to examination. Therefore, you need to practice on sample tests in the textbook or study guide to see how questions are constructed and formulated, to help you to make sure that at least this is how I address these questions. Because those sample of tests in your modules, some of those questions you will still meet them in examination. Hence, you need to make sure that you read through, and you also sometimes close the module. You try to find answers to those questions. Another smart way, you can also look at the past examination question papers, because there's nothing new. Everything is what has been done over and over and over. Therefore, you need to look at how previous examination question papers were set. So your coming exam will still be aligned to the previous examination. You are still doing the same module. We didn't change the curriculum, nothing is changed. So therefore, the past exam can still guide you and lead you to what you are likely to meet in the coming examination. Ask for suggestions from your tutor or lecturer what to expect in the exam, what course material should be emphasized on. At times, students used to be reluctant and wait until exam is near, and it's when they want to start reading, and you're left with less or no time to engage the tutor. So make sure that you read through, and where you have a problem, you ask the tutor things that you don't understand. It's not necessary to say you ask a tutor what is coming in examination. I'm not saying that. So you just need to ask. For example, maybe you are reading a certain topic, then certain things are not clear. Then you can ask a tutor. Maybe you want to mind map what is likely to be asked, or how is that things is likely to be asked in examination. Then a tutor can even help you to say, okay, for example, a question can be like this, but not necessarily to say that's the question in examination, but just to help you to know how certain things are asked in examination. So I think that is clear. You must also leave plenty of time to revise. Read through, then when you read through, you have time to revise. If you read only when the examination is 2 weeks to come, then you will have little ample time to revise. Hence, you need to make sure that as soon as you get your material, read through and make sure that once you are done, then you must be able to revise, and things that are not clear, you have enough time to still also engage the tutor. Plenty of study time. Every one of us have his or her preferred time of studying. For example, somebody will be comfortable to study during night time. Another one will be comfortable to study during the day. Another one will be comfortable to study early morning. So you must plan and know your weaknesses and your strength. Know what time of the day is it proper for you to study and to concentrate. Get an understanding of the grading procedures. You should know how much you need to pass in examination and how much you need to qualify for examination. Everything is in your module. If you read through a module, you find that you need certain percentage to qualify for examination, and also you need certain percentage to pass examination. So the issue of 60, 40, and all those things. So if you check in your module, you realize that all the things are covered. The problem is that we don't read and we don't have time to page through. We only rush, and the moment you start rushing, you will not even know how much effort do I need to put in examination so that I will be able to pass my examination. And mind you, even if you have 90 CA, you still need to pass examination. Because in principle, if you have 90 CA, then sometimes you might think, I just need 10 in examination, then I have 50, I'm gone. No. Examination need to be passed. That's why sometimes you find your result written sub-minimum, not achieved. That in essence means you didn't pass the examination. Before the exam, make sure you know where it will be held, the starting time, and how long it will last. You need to have mentally preparation. Number one, you need to know the venue, and before you enter the venue, you must know how long am I going to sit there. So, in other words, you need to prepare your mind so that if the examination is 2 hours, then your mind should be able to cope during that time. Because if you didn't prepare your mind, you'll be exhausted and you will not be able to finish the paper, because you did not prepare yourself to sit for such a longer period. We are moving to the next item, which is course learning outcomes. Very critical. We start with Unit 1. These are important aspects where you need to pay much attention. But this does not mean you should not read other aspects, but this will also help you to prepare better for your examination. Management theories and leadership. We are looking at benefit of scientific management. So by reading some of this benefit of scientific management, you must be able to tell why is scientific management so important to the leadership aspect. And you should be able to answer any question that can be constructed from that topic. Scientific management principles. There are a lot of theorists in your modules, like Iol and others, who have come up with management principles. So you should study some of those theorists, then know what principle did they come up with. So, for example, if a question asks you to discuss 10 management principles of Iol or any other theorist who is stipulated in your module, you must be able to answer. Then you must also be able to answer any question on why managers or leaders usually fail in their endeavors. So there are different reasons as to why leaders or managers do not succeed in their management task. You should be able to answer any question and be able to remember some of the facts on why leaders fail. Discuss qualities, functions of top management. There are certain functions and qualities of top leaders. So if you read through your module, you will realize that there are different job or functions or different qualities that a top leader should have. Therefore, you must be able to study all those aspects, and any question that can be formulated from those factors, you must be able to answer it. For example, the qualities of top management, you must be able to tell what are those qualities and what are their functions. And there are also components of school excellence. For school to excel, there are certain components that it should meet for it to do well. So you should know all those components so that you'll be able to answer any question that can be taken from such a topic. Then we are looking at leadership concept and leadership styles. Leadership concept from previous slides, we were talking about common terms that are used in examination. So you must be able to define some of these terms like leadership. And furthermore, you should also be able to tell different leadership styles. Leaders don't do things the same way. There are different leadership styles that are employed by leaders for them to be able to do their day-to-day work. So it depends on what type of leader are you. So you must be able to tell different types of leadership and how they do their work and how are they differ from the others. We are moving from Unit 2, or rather we are moving on to Unit 2. I hope I did justice to Unit 1. If you have a question, you can still ask me after you have read through and you have listened to the slides that I will send. And if things are not clear, you can still engage me. Unit 2, steps of problem solving and its application to school problems, including how you resolve conflict. Problems are always happening in schools, and there are always issues to resolve. Excuse me. You should know what steps you must take as a teacher to resolve those conflicts that may arise in schools. Because in as much as school exists, there will be also problems that are happening in schools. And you must be able to tell how to handle those issues. When conflict arises, how do you resolve those conflicts? Then we are moving on to another item, which is also equally important, an assertive communication style. The way we communicate define who we are. So you must be able to tell what is assertive communication style, or in simple, what is assertiveness when it comes to when you apply it to communication. So you must be able to tell the difference between those assertive communication style and how is it applicable to the school situations. Consequences of internal conflict. You must be able also to study and know what are the outcomes of internal conflict when problems arise inside the organization or inside the school. What will be the outcome of that internal conflict? You should also know features and strategies of critical thinking. Of course, there are certain features and strategies that are aligned to critical thinking. And if you develop a culture of reading and you read through your notes, Unit 2, you will see there are different features and strategies that are aligned to critical thinking, and you should acquaint yourself with those features so that you'll be able to answer any question that can be taken from such topic. I hope you are following. We are moving to Unit 3. In Unit 3, there are also some important topic that you need to concentrate on, but this does not mean you cannot read other aspects, but this will rather guide you also and enable you to focus, to help you to be able to answer some of the questions that might be taken from such unit. We are looking at school clustering system and its failure. Be able to define what is school clustering system, and you should be able to tell why this system has failed in Namibia. Because the previous years we have been talking about this school clustering system. However, there is a feeling that somewhere, somehow, it did not succeed. So you must be able to tell what were those failures of school clustering system. Explain why school clustering system is a success or a failure in Namibia. So that's just a more or less the same topic like the previous one, when I was saying there are success stories about this school clustering system, and there are also some failure stories about this school clustering system. You should be able to read through a module and pick them up, and should the examiner ask some of those success or failures of those school clustering system, you should be able to answer them. And you should be able to tell how to compile a year planner for school and things to consider. For example, when you are making a year plan for the school, what factors do you need to include in that year planners of the school? Because each school has its year planner which guides its activities on what to do, when, and how. So you must be able to tell what are those things that you need to consider when you are drawing up that school year planners. Thank you. In Unit 5, we are looking at why and how learners' assessment results should be analyzed and monitored. Always when we assess our learners, there are certain guidelines that we have to align ourselves to. And you must be able to tell, how do we assess the outcome of our assessment? How do we assess the result of our learners? And how do we analyze and monitor those results? Because for us to see that there's a learning taking place or there's no learning taking place, we must look at the result. We analyze it and we also monitor it. That's why you see some schools this year they performed well, next year they bounce back to poor performing. So it's through monitoring that you can see that there's a constant performance or there's inconsistency in terms of performance. So you have to monitor those results. So therefore, you must be able to read through and know how we analyze those things and how we monitor them. And furthermore, we also look at classroom monitoring. When you are teaching also day to day, we also need to monitor our classrooms. You should tell, what is this classroom monitoring? And perhaps you must also tell, how do we do it? You should also read and be able to argue whether classroom monitoring is good or not. As you are reading through, you'll be finding reasons that are telling whether classroom monitoring is good or whether classroom monitoring is not good. So when you read through, you arrive to the conclusion that, okay, classroom monitoring is good because of ABC. Classroom monitoring is not good because of ABC. So you must read through your module, Unit 5, then you should be able to tell. And should the examiner ask you a question on that particular topic, you should be able to tell, why are you saying classroom monitoring is good? Or why are you saying that classroom monitoring is not a good thing at all? It's very simple. Then we go to Unit 6, powers and functions of school boards. In schools, we have school board members who are also part and parcel of the school community, and they have job to do. You should also know what are those jobs that they are given or they are assigned to do, and what power do they have over the school activities. Learn what could be the powers of the school board. very, very important. So that's the end of our presentation on EM32, and I thank you for your attention, and I hope this presentation will be vitally important to you. And should you have any question where maybe I oversight the certain topic which is not clear to you, you are free to ask me. My contact details are at the top of the slides there, and my email is also there. So feel free to ask me, and all the best for your examination.